like Diana Taurasi, looking real spooky with that.
Caitlin are really good friends.
And congrats.
Now you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds.
Look like Diana Taurasi is currently in the headlines for breaking her silence about Caitlin Clark and their relationship.
Hold up. Stop everything you're doing right now because Diana Taurasi just broke the internet, and I'm not even exaggerating. The same Diana Taurasi who delivered those infamous reality check comments about Caitlin Clark is now singing a completely different tune.
Looking real spooky with Diana Taurasi. That is now, because she went on to say some things about Caitlin Clark that has everybody scratching her head. Because now her whole energy about Caitlin has changed. Her whole demeanor about Caitlin has changed. And quite frankly...
And fans across the basketball world are absolutely losing their minds. We're talking about a complete 180 that has everyone asking the same question. What in the world happened behind the scenes to cause this dramatic transformation?
It's looking real spooky. I just gotta be honest, man. Let's head on over to X to see where all of this information is coming from. And just like I stated to y'all, Diana Taurasi was a person. She was a person that...
Diana Taurasi, the WNBA legend who basically told the world that Caitlin Clark needed to be humbled when she entered the league, has now come out with praise so glowing that it sounds like she's talking about a completely different player. This isn't just a slight shift in opinion. Folks.
Me and Caitlin are really good friends. We get along really well. We've had some great interactions.
This is a total personality makeover that's got everyone scratching their heads and wondering if someone replaced the real Diana with a clone. The timing, the tone, the complete reversal of everything she stood for just months ago. It's all so suspicious that fans are calling it downright spooky.
When the college guys come out, they're waiting for them. I mean, Camilla's coming, Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just...
Think about this for a second. We're talking about the same woman who looked into the camera and warned everyone that reality was coming for these college players entering the WNBA. The same person who basically predicted that Caitlin Clark would struggle against grown women who've been playing professional basketball for years. And now she's out here talking about how they're really good friends and how she absolutely loves everything Caitlin does on and off the court.
And that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying...
Math just isn't mathing, and the basketball community is demanding answers. Let's rewind the clock and remember exactly what Diana said when Caitlin was about to enter the league. She didn't mince words when she talked about these college superstars coming into the WNBA. Diana made it crystal clear that there were levels to this game, and she wasn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for the incoming rookies. Her message was simple.
Saying that's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
You might look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds in college, but you're about to face some grown women who've been doing this professionally for a long time. That reality check speech wasn't delivered with warmth or encouragement. It was delivered with the kind of energy that suggested she was preparing to watch these young players get knocked down a peg or two.
Congrats on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats.
Now, unfortunately, reality is coming to me now.
Diana was essentially warning the basketball world not to get too excited about what these college stars might accomplish in the WNBA, because the professional level was going to humble them real quick. She talked about transition periods and giving yourself grace as a rookie, but the underlying message was clear: don't expect immediate dominance. Fast forward to now, and Diana's singing a song so different it might as well be in another language entirely. She's talking about how she and Caitlin are really good friends, how they get along really well, and how she absolutely loves what Caitlin does both on and off the court. She's praising Caitlin's seriousness and work ethic like she just discovered these qualities yesterday. Diana even went as far as saying that Caitlin has taken the game to new heights and that it's been amazing to watch her journey. But here's where this whole situation gets really interesting and frankly a little bit suspicious. The timing of Diana's complete change of heart coincides perfectly with Caitlyn's undeniable impact on the WNBA. We're not talking about modest improvements here. Caitlin Clark single-handedly transformed women's basketball into a mainstream phenomenon. Record-breaking viewership numbers that nobody saw coming, sold-out arenas that were half empty just a season before, and unprecedented media attention that has sponsors throwing money at the league like never before. It's almost like Diana looked at all these numbers, saw which direction the wind was blowing, and decided she wanted to be on the right side of history. The same person who was ready to watch Caitlyn struggle is now acting like she's been her biggest supporter all along. The fan reaction to this complete turnaround has been absolutely wild, and it's split the basketball community right down the middle. You've got one group of fans who are genuinely confused about what caused this dramatic shift. They're asking legitimate questions about when exactly this friendship developed and why Diana's energy toward Caitlyn has changed so dramatically. These fans remember the reality check comments, and they're having trouble reconciling that version of Diana with the one who's now praising Caitlyn like she's the second coming of basketball greatness. Then you've got another group that's not buying any of this for a second. They're calling Diana out for being fake and opportunistic, suggesting that her new comments are nothing more than calculated positioning now that Caitlyn has proven herself to be the league's biggest draw. These fans are pointing out that all the qualities Diana is now praising were obvious from day one. So why is she acting like she just discovered them? And then there's a third group that's just happy to see one of the league's biggest names finally giving Caitlyn her flowers, regardless of the timing or motivation behind it. They're focusing on the positive aspects of having a veteran voice supporting the league's rising star, even if it took a while to get there. But let's be real about what's happening here. Diana is acting like she discovered Caitlin Clark yesterday, talking about watching her play and being amazed by her seriousness and work ethic, as if these weren't obvious qualities that everyone else could see from the beginning. The woman who delivered those reality check comments is now saying that Caitlyn has taken the game to new heights. That's not just an evolution in thinking, that's a complete philosophical transformation that raises serious questions about what she was really thinking before. What makes this even more ridiculous is that Diana's new comments suggest she's been closely following Caitlyn's career and development all along. But if that's true, then why were her initial comments so dismissive and borderline hostile? Was she not paying attention when Caitlyn was breaking records left and right in college? Was she somehow unaware of the kind of player and person she was dealing with? These questions matter because they go to the heart of whether Diana's transformation is genuine or just convenient. The timing of this change of heart becomes even more suspicious when you consider what's been happening in the WNBA lately. The league has experienced unprecedented growth, and it's largely been driven by one player bringing mainstream attention that the sport has never seen before. Sponsors are pouring money into women's basketball, television ratings are breaking records, and suddenly everyone wants to be associated with this success story. Diana's comments also come at a time when other veterans in the league have been facing criticism for not being supportive enough of new talent. There's been ongoing discussion about whether older players have been welcoming to rookies, or if there's been some serious gatekeeping happening behind the scenes. Maybe Diana realized she was on the wrong side of that conversation and decided to course correct before it was too late. The really good friends comment is particularly interesting because it implies a personal relationship that goes way beyond just professional respect. But when exactly did this friendship develop? Was it before Caitlyn proved she could dominate at the professional level, or did it conveniently emerge after she became the league's biggest star? The timeline matters here because it speaks to the authenticity of Diana's transformation. What's also worth examining is how different Diana's energy is now compared to when she announced her retirement. When she finally hung up her sneakers, there was plenty of talk about passing the torch to the next generation and supporting young players coming into the league. But her initial comments about Caitlyn didn't exactly sound like someone who was ready to hand over the keys to the kingdom. In fact, they sounded more like someone who was preparing to defend her territory. This whole situation raises fundamental questions about authenticity in professional sports. Are Diana's new comments genuine expressions of respect and admiration, or are they calculated moves designed to align herself with the league's biggest star now that the writing is on the wall? It's impossible to know for sure what's in someone's heart, but the dramatic change in tone is definitely raising eyebrows throughout the basketball community. Part of what makes this so fascinating is that Diana didn't have to say anything at all. She's retired now, so she's not competing with Caitlin for playing time, recognition, or headlines. She could have just stayed quiet and avoided this entire conversation. But instead, she chose to make very public comments praising someone she previously seemed to have serious issues with. That choice suggests there's more to this story than meets the eye. The media reaction has been just as interesting to watch as the fan response. Sports journalists who love a good redemption story are eating this up, framing it as a veteran player being mature enough to recognize talent and change her opinion when presented with new evidence. They're treating it like Diana saw the light and decided to give credit where credit was due. But other media voices are questioning whether this is just convenient timing and strategic positioning. They're pointing out that Diana's business interests, including media opportunities and potential endorsement deals, could benefit significantly from being seen as someone who supported and recognized Caitlin's talent. Being associated with the WNBA's growth story could be extremely valuable for her personal brand moving forward. What's really telling is how Diana's comments contrast with some of the other veteran voices in the league who are still reluctant to give Caitlin full credit for the league's explosive growth. While she's now going all in on the praise, there are still other former players who seem hesitant to acknowledge just how transformative Caitlin's impact has been. Diana's willingness to completely flip her script makes her stand out from that crowd in a way that feels almost too convenient. But here's what's really crazy about this entire situation. Diana's complete turnaround actually proves that all the criticism of her initial comments was completely justified. If she can now see all these positive qualities in Caitlin and recognize her massive impact on the league, then why couldn't she see them before? It suggests that her initial skepticism wasn't based on legitimate concerns about the game or genuine observations about talent levels. The fact that Diana has now completely changed her tune also raises questions about how other veteran players might be reassessing their own positions on Caitlin and the new generation of talent entering the league. If someone as established and respected as Diana can do such a dramatic 180, it might encourage others to reconsider their own stances before they end up on the wrong side of history too. The whole situation reveals something important about WNBA culture and how the league handles rising stars. If a player of Diana's stature felt the need to deliver reality check comments initially, what does that say about the environment that new players are walking into? The fact that she's now completely reversed course suggests that those initial comments might not have been about protecting the integrity of the game or teaching young players humility like she claimed. At the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, and Diana's initial actions were to throw cold water on the excitement surrounding Caitlin's arrival in the league. These new comments are nice to hear, but they can't erase the fact that when it mattered most, when Caitlin was transitioning to professional basketball and could have used veteran support, Diana chose to be dismissive instead of encouraging. Diana Taurasi's complete transformation regarding Caitlin Clark has left the entire basketball world scratching their heads and wondering what really changed her mind. Whether this is genuine growth or just strategic positioning, one thing is certain, this turnaround is absolutely wild to witness, and it's got everyone talking about authenticity, timing, and what it really means to support the next generation of basketball stars.